Living in the inescapable, living inescapable love. We're living in the inescapable, inescapable love.
Namaste, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining us today. Today, we are very happy once again to have Krishna Prem with us. Hi, Krishna Prem.
Hey.
Hey, thanks so much for joining again. This is Osho Niranjana Meditation Center. Welcome. We're broadcasting from Southern California, and it's great to have Krishna Prem here. He's on the other side of the world, and Zoom is making it all possible. So thanks a lot for joining us. I'm reaching on us here, Prapat, Deepti in the background, and Kanchan also with us. So just want to welcome Krishna Prem. Krishna Prem, a short introduction for you. Krishna Prem is an international teacher of meditation with over 45 years of experience leading meditation workshops in the USA, Europe, and in India. He was born in America and graduated from Boston University in the United States. And upon graduation, he managed the Ship Hotel in Shepperton, England, believe it or not. And from there, he traveled east in 1973, where he met his teacher and friend Osho in India. He brought his passion for meditation back with him to California, where he founded Geetam Ashram here in California. And there's a lot of people that still remember Geetam. And that flourished into the biggest Osho meditation center in the West. Krishna Prem has written a book, G-U-R-U. It's an excellent book. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. And you can actually read the first chapter of his book free at his website. So if you want to grab that, it'd be great. So Krishna Prem, welcome so much. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you. Here I am. My gosh. You know, you brought up on I am American. And I think everybody knows that India is as far away from America as you can get. You know, not only spiritually, but it's just a different place. And I had the good fortune of getting a job in England managing a hotel. I had done hotel management in college and met a boy who owned a hotel in England who was lazy. And he invited me to England to help him run it. And it was there that I was introduced more and more to India. In 50 years ago, actually, the English had lifetime visas for India still. And so there were many hippies along the way going back and forth from England to India, including the Beatles. And I was right there in London when everybody returned, and they had a sense of humor I didn't have, you know. I laughed at jokes and they were laughing at life. And it didn't take me long to feel that something was missing in my life. In other words, I don't want to laugh at you slipping on a banana peel. I want to laugh because I woke up in a good mood. And I knew that India had something for me, but I was afraid to go to India, you know. But I was falling in love with Indian food. Now, at 2 a.m, when you're working in a hotel in England, that's basically 6 bars and 4 bedrooms. So the bedrooms were for the people that got drunk and couldn't get home. So really, I managed 4 bars, you know, and I got into drinking quite a bit, actually. And what happened is, Param, you would visit me, and your wife just left you, and I'd say, my God, I can't let you drink alone, you know. And then your wife, Dipti, would come in. She said, I left him because he cheated on me. And I said, Dipti, let's have a drink. He's not so bad. He just had a middle-aged moment, you know. And then one night, Baram didn't come. Dipti didn't come. I was alone, and I was still drinking. And I started to realize that I was repressing my my misery through drink. Now, I don't want to go into why I'm miserable, so I want my audience today to use a big paintbrush and say, Krishna Prem was miserable. I don't need his story because I have my story. So you just superimpose your misery on me today. I've learned not to pick it up anymore. It's a miracle of meditation that I can be with somebody that's miserable and and just be with them. I don't need to be miserable with them. But at this point in my life, at 29 years old, alcoholic, miserable, I closed the bar, and the only place I could eat was an Indian restaurant across from my hotel. So I would go and I would sit with the waiters, and I would have Indian food. I was falling in love with Indian food, and especially the mango chutney. I really liked the sweetness of mango chutney. And I don't know if I've told this story before, but at one point, the restaurant was closed. And I said to the boy cleaning the restaurant, why is the restaurant closed? And he said, well, it's a holiday in India. I said, well, that's great. So you'll be open up tomorrow. And he said, well, you know, when God created the world, he created a holiday for all the 40 million Indians that were already here when planet Earth was created. And I don't know when this restaurant is going to open. So I said, holy shit. And I went to the airport drunk with all my money, with my girlfriend. I'm drunk, she's crying. You know the story. I had enough money for a round trip ticket or 2 one-way tickets. And of course, I'm in love. I'm drunk. She's crying. We get on a plane. Bliss. We're living under a cashew tree in Goa, India. And it was a miracle. Take a swim, make love, take a nap under the cashew tree, make love, have dinner, have a drink, make love. It was idyllic. The only problem is that nobody told me in England when I get to India not to drink the water. So what happened for me, I drank the water, my girlfriend drank the water, and our relationship turned into a relation shit. It was amazing. And what happened is she went to the library and rented the biggest book I've ever seen in my life. It's called Autobiography of a Yogi, this big. So I didn't know what to do because I'm new to relationship. I rented the smallest book called Seeds of Revolutionary Thought by Acharya. And I knew my relationship was in trouble by the size of her book. So what happened for me is I went down to the ocean and I read this book and I became ecstatic. And but I couldn't read the word Acharya, so I just let it be until I found myself sitting with Osho. And he said, your new name will be Krishna Prem, and Krishna meaning ecstasy and Prem meaning love. And I was looking at him saying, are you kidding? I'm so miserable, because I didn't say anything because I was afraid to say anything. But I said, I don't think you can see me, Osho, you know? And he said, basically, Krishna, you'll learn to go into this name. And it was a beautiful moment because as much as I was miserable, I could feel in front of Osho the misery just becoming not me. In other words, it was like clothing, and I could take that clothing off or I could put it on. And in front of him, what you would do is you would take your clothing off. You would take your misery off. And when I left him, I was ecstatic. And a young woman came to me and she gave me a present because I took sannyas. And the present was Seeds of Revolutionary Thought, the very same book I read in Goa, but Osho had now changed his name from Acharya to Osho. And it was amazing. And that's the miracle. That's like India. India is full of these miracles. Actually, they're full of these miracles in Los Angeles, except we move so fast, we don't know life is a miracle. And so one step, I was Michael. And the next step, I was Krishna. It was over for me. I was committed right then and there. amazing. And it was a wonderful thing. And I'm not an intellectual. You can probably tell already just listening to me for 5 minutes. So that's the only book I ever read of Osho. Like other people read all 265 of Osho's books. I read one book, Seeds of Revolutionary Thought. And when I left him, of course, we all stayed as long as we could. So I ended up now back in America with a beard down to my toes and my hair up to the sky and no money, orange pajamas, a picture of Osho around my neck. And I rang the front door of my home and my mother opened the door and she looked at my hair. She looked at my beard. She looked into my eyes. She looked into the mala. She looked at my bare feet and she said, I always knew this was going to happen to you, you know? And I think there's a beauty in that story because we all think we're sane because we have a job. We all think we're sane because we have parents. But in fact, one day get drunk with dad and say, Dad, did you know I was bananas when I was born? You can ask your mom, do you think I was different than my other brothers and sisters? There's a quality of meditation that we're covering up that is real, that is absolutely real. And one day it's a miracle when you wake up and you know you can go to work, but you know that the witness can watch you go to work. You know, most people are just human doers, you know, bless their hearts, you know, but for you and me, Varam, or the people that are watching right now, we know the witness exists. We know that we're a human being that can do something. And it's so very, very beautiful when you start to remember that you're a human being. And that requires courage. And that requires balance. For example, in my life, I was so in love with Osho that I didn't need to be aware. I was just walking around in love. And I'll never forget that moment that 2 years later, after I met Osho, I made enough money to return. And on the return flight, I reread the book, Seeds of Revolutionary Thought. I hadn't even seen the book for 2 years, and I reread it, and it was like taking drugs because I realized, not that I take drugs, Varam, please. I realized that a qualitative difference happened in my life by being in love with Osho. And at the same time, I had learned not to be attached. I left the book on the plane for the next person on the flight because it was heavy. I didn't want to carry anything that was heavy. I was lightening up. But it was a beautiful, beautiful moment. And I say that because you might think I'm a fool because I'm in love. And I thought maybe I'm a fool that I was in love. And I decided in that moment, once I was totally in love, to move more into awareness. And I had a very difficult time moving in awareness. Now, many of the people tuning in right now are tuning in because they're totally aware of their own life. That the bills are paid, the kids are in college, they're taking a Saturday afternoon off to watch us and be with us. But they're just totally into awareness and they're saying, what a fool this guy is. Just to be in love. And they're right. So basically what I look for when I meet somebody, I don't need to meet love anymore. It's in my being, but I am so unconscious, you know, that I need awareness in my life. So a lot of times I meet people and they don't understand why I love them, but I love them because they actually function in this world and I don't, you know. And I laugh because I'm 76 or 77, I don't even know. And the bills are paid, but barely, you know. And I'm still trying to add that secret called awareness. And I only say that because Osho would always say roots and wings, roots and wings. And what I'm trying to say today, and it's not as easy to say, but it is easy to indicate that we're walking on two legs, you know. And when I was in love with Osho so deeply, I was tired because I was hopping around on one leg called love, you know. And when I got exhausted, you know, because even love is exhausting when you don't have awareness. So when I moved to awareness, I also became exhausted because, to be honest, I had to give up some love in order to learn about awareness. So what I'm saying, what I'm trying to say, and again, you have to paint your own picture, that it's beautiful when you can add love and awareness into your life. Then you have 2 feet on the ground. Once you have 2 feet on the ground, you realize that your roots are going as deep into the earth as you are, you know. And also you can reach to the sky with love. So you need roots and wings. I leave that up to you. Maybe at the end of this hour or 2 that we're together, you'll get a feeling for this. But the good news is that you already know. That's the good news. You're already enlightened. My whole life now is I know that we are all enlightened, pretending to be asleep. You know, we do not want to take responsibility. We just want to react. We want to be told who we are. When I say I was in love with Osho, he could hardly wait for me to say I'm in love, not I'm in love with Osho. When I can say awareness, he was excited when I'd say, I'm aware of myself, Osho, not you anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like we could use him, we could love him, we could be aware with him. But the magic is when you let go. Instead of saying, I love you, you let the I drop, you let the Osho drop, and you just love. I am aware of you, you let the I drop, you let Osho drop, and you become just awareness. So this is why when Osho left his body, the last thing he said to us was, you know, drop your attachment to me. I want to be your friend. But, you know, he is a master, so I want to add a little asterisk to that statement. You know, what he was really saying is, if you want to be my friend, you need to do your homework. You need to become love and you need to become awareness. Then you can be my friend. Don't be my friend by falling asleep. You follow what I mean? I mean, this is hot shit stuff, you know. And you know, there's 100 people watching today. There should be 1 million, not because of me, but because they heard maybe someone's going to give a talk on meditation. Meditation is simply in the background right now. Everybody is so concerned for their body right now, and so am I. I'm not trying to put down fear, but right now, because of this coronavirus, people are heading up into their heads in order to take care of themselves. It's unbelievable. And what happens is we end up living on our heads, and that's why I felt to give a talk today called From the Head to the Heart. You know, we drop back into the heart just a little bit, you know. And the beauty of that is, in the West, that's a great thing. From the head to the heart. Everybody feels like, wow, that's a great idea. But basically, I want to tell you what Osho said to me. And again, you do with it what you want. In fact, after 50 years, I can't even remember if actually Osho said this to me personally, or he said it to me in a discourse. And the beauty of Osho is when you hear him, he said it to you. When you don't understand him, he said it to you, but you think it's for somebody else. So this situation that I'm about to talk about just for a moment before we meditate, very simple. He said to me, first, Krishna Prem, I'm going to cut off your head. And I remember saying to myself, oh, that's nice. Nice guy. You know, I don't even know you that well. I've never been alone with you except the first time we met. And now you're going to cut off my head? He said, not only that, but once I cut off your head, I'm going to rip out your heart. I said, oh, that's really sweet. That's really sweet. And I was saying, do I really want to be around this guy? Who gives a shit about a guy? He's trying to kill me. Cutting off my head, ripping out my heart. And then he said, I'm going to kick you in the belly. I said, holy shit, that's horrible. You know? And then the beauty of it, he said, and then I'm going to rebuild you from the ground up. First, I'm going to introduce you to your hara. I'm going to introduce you to where you actually live. And then once you live there, then you come up to the heart. And then when you're in the head, you can speak of love or you can meditate. So basically, during these corona times, we're living in our heads, very difficult to meditate. You need to fall into the heart, but don't stop there. Go all the way back into your hara, you know. And I don't know if you're getting me, but basically it's very, very simple. We're a human being. And the way I say it, we're a human being over here, and over here, we're a human doer. And what do I mean by balance? Balance means that the human being can make love to the human doer. And the human doer can say thank you to the human being. I forgot for a moment, but now that you've made love to me without hurting me, we can work together. And the beauty of life is that you can't just go, boom. You need to look into your life. If you want to be a whole person, you know, you can't just be a human being. And if you want to be a whole person, you can't just be a whole doer. You actually need to meet yourself again. So we all know that children are enlightened for 3 years. They're fabulous, fabulous. You know, and one of the best meditations is to get down on your hands and knees and crawl with the baby and see how magnificent and new life is, you know. But around 3 years old, that baby learns to say, ooh, if I want that sweet, I better be nice, you know. Or if mommy's upset with me, I better be nice. Daddy wants me to grow up, I better get off my hands and knees and walk like a man, you know. And from then on in, you're fucked. I don't know the spiritual word for fucked, but after 3 years old, you're fucked. And what I mean by that is you need to meet yourself again. And once you're fucked, excuse my language, I won't try not to say that anymore, you need to remember. But people, you know, Ramdas, he just left his body. Love, serve, remember. But the way we live is love, serve, and find out. We're all doing something to find out who we are. But forget about finding out who you are. Remember who you are. Love, serve, remember. So in order for your human being and your human doer, my God, to meet each other, you have to go down into the valley. There's a valley between who you really are and what you're doing in life. If you can go down into the valley and, you know, say hello to your parents, tell them I'm sorry, you know, I need to leave you for a moment. Your wife, I need to leave you for a moment. And your religion, I need to leave you for a moment. And your job, I need to leave you for a moment. And then you come back to the dark night of the soul. And that's another word for that is misery. You need to look at what has made your life miserable. And you have to be clear. It's not a test. You don't have to write to me at the end of this hour and say, I'm no longer miserable. I don't really care. You need to find out for yourself how to get back in touch with yourself. And here's the good news. There's two good newses here. The one good news is, say you go down here and you bump into your misery and you say, who cares what Krishna Prem says? there's my wife over there, and there's my parents, and there's my religion, and there's my politicians. Who needs enlightenment? I already have everything I want. But what I'm saying is, if you have the courage to go through your misery, you know what you're going to find out? You're going to see your wife and you're going to say, wow, you're my good friend. I really appreciate you stuck with me through this thick and thin. And you're going to meet your parents and you're going to say to your parents, I'm so happy you made love because I'm so happy to be alive. And when you meet Osho, Buddha, Jesus, you're going to say, wow, I'm home now, but it's great to have a friend. And then your human doer begins to vibrate again. Because vibrations, all these hippie terms, vibrating, this is a good idea. Your human doer needs to become less solid, less solid. And your human being needs to dance a little. And here's the thing, they're one. When your human being sees your human doer being miserable, he doesn't get excited. He starts to almost pass out himself. So the only way to vibrate is to be in touch with yourself. Isn't it crazy? Can you imagine? I don't know who came, and it's so clear to me, that my human being and my human doer love each other. But I don't see it every day in the world. I just don't do it. So I know this is crazy, but I want to say that I want to breathe again because I don't want to get too intellectual. But I want to play a happy song by Miten in a moment. And basically what I want you to do is breathe. I want you to breathe out. And this is the masters. The masters are breathing out. They're breathing out from the belly into the heart, into the head, and either making love or meditating, And the human doer is doing the same thing, only he's only breathing in from the head to the heart to the belly. And it's great. Both are great. Osho's great, and guess what? You're great, But in order to know that, you need to breathe in and breathe out. When you breathe out, all of existence appears in you. When you come from your heart, into your heart, into your head, how can you be lonely when every single person in the universe lives in you? How can you not afford rent when you own the whole entire world, But over here, of course, your human doer is saying, I got to turn this video off. I got to get some work. I got to make some money. Take a break. Get in touch with yourself. So this is called 4-part breathing. When you breathe into your human doer and you breathe it out into your master, So you breathe in, you take care of yourself. You breathe out, you take care of your human being. You breathe in, you take care of your human doer. You breathe out, you take care of your human being. So they want to know each other. And the truth is that the breath is a physical thing, But there is a gap, and I want you to be aware of the gap. You're just breathing, breathing into your human doer is breathing into your human being. We're trying to make love to ourselves. This is, when you make love to yourself, you're complete unto yourself, And so we're going to play a beautiful song. And now I know that I might have been too intellectual. I try to be stupid, but I am stupid, but it's because I live in the truth, it appears a bit intelligent. So I want you to just breathe. If you feel tired from this talk, you can breathe lying down. If you're bored with this talk, you can make a cup of coffee. If you don't believe in meditation or coffee, you can just listen to a beautiful piece of music. But just breathe in, breathe out. I am a human being. I am a human doer. I would love to make love to myself. I want to heal right now. Everybody asks me about Tantra, Tantra for me is awareness of who I am, And if I meet a woman that's also aware of who she is, we can enjoy each other. But I don't need to meet a woman anymore in order to make love. I can just be Krishna Prem. you know. So let's just enjoy breathing. Let's enjoy Miten. Miten is Deva Premal's beloved. He was a rock star, and now she's the rock star. It's so cute. But I love this guy. I love his music. And so let's play him and just breathe or have a coffee or say goodbye. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. Can we do that?
There
Hey, that's beautiful. So breathing, it's a good idea to reconnect, you know. Most of us already know how to be a terrific human doer, you know, but we've lost touch with our human being. And that's just remember to focus on the breathing out from the hara to the heart to the head, so that when you meet Osho in your next life, he doesn't have to do what he did for me. He doesn't have to cut off your head or anything, because you're already home. You know, you're already home. So now the hara is lazy, you know, and the doer is active. So it's hard. We're not trained in the West to respect the lazy hara. We're taught to respect the busy man, the businessman. So I just want to let you know that for me, that as I get a little bit older and wiser and less sexy, that for me, sexual energy is present so that it can raise the hara into the heart. It's like a heat, a Bunsen burner. So sometimes you have sex, but when you learn to meditate, you use that sexual energy to actually rise up into the heart and into the head and be in love, or to meditate. So it takes trust, it takes awareness, it takes courage. It actually takes a stop, to actually stop your human doer and ask yourself, who am I as a human being? You know. And I kind of laugh because Miten is saying wave is coming in, waves are, whatever he was saying. But what I was meditating on while he was singing was, I was once at the ranch in Oregon, and I was building a fence so that people wouldn't fall into the creek. And the creek was about 15 feet below the road. And I was building the fence, and it was raining out, and I was pretty much alone, and a few of us there. And all of a sudden, Osho was coming in his Rolls Royce for a drive-by. And Osho he slowed down. It was really, really beautiful. He acknowledged me, you know. And of course, I always acknowledged him, but I wasn't ready to receive his love, his acknowledgement, his awareness. So I was very touched, and all of a sudden, because it was raining out, he couldn't really see me that well. I couldn't see him that well. And I remember saying, oh, I wish I could look into his eyes right now. And all of a sudden, he shut off his windshield wipers. And then we could see each other, and I was really, really touched that a master would acknowledge me. I was young to meditation at the time. But then I was blissing out, of course, you know, me, Osho, alone. His windshield wipers are shut off. He's looking me in the eye. But I noticed that he was driving straight at me. And all my love, all my awareness went into, holy shit, he's going to drive into me, you know? And I didn't quite, it was so cute because I was still, you know, namasteing and still smiling. But I noticed that I was looking to the side to see which part of the creek I should jump in, because he's about to run into me. And I'm a little naive, you know, my eyes aren't so good. I mean, how is Osho driving? He's namasteing me, right? He's not driving very fast, but it's a Rolls Royce. It would hurt me no matter what. And he's driving straight at me. He's smiling. I said, my God, I got to get ready. And in that moment, love was out the window. Awareness was out the window. I was about to jump off the bridge. You know, that was the least of the painful things that could happen to me. And I didn't realize that actually Osho was driving with his knees, you know. And all of a sudden, just before I jumped and just before he was about to hit me, he just turned the car and he missed and he couldn't stop laughing. I was quite embarrassed. But so when I say it takes love, it takes awareness, it takes courage, if you know what I mean. In that moment, I was scared shit, but I still couldn't stop laughing because after I got the joke that he wasn't going to hurt me and that I was being really protective in a moment when I could have been naked. And all I'm saying is, when I talk about human beings and human doers, and it's actually the truth, but there is a learning curve. There is, and the only reason there's a learning curve is at age 3, we gave up the truth to become someone, and it's very, very simple until you hit the wall, until that someone, until that personality breaks, until you jump off the bridge, and die as a personality. You'll never be a human being again. And all I'm asking today is for you to look into this and see the possibility that if you were to give up 10% of your human doer and reclaim 10% of your human being, if you wouldn't be more in the moment, more happy, and actually a better doer. That's the cosmic joke, that if you give up some of your doing and return to who you are as a human being, that you'll be a better human doer. And your human being will say, gosh, let's keep doing, but let's do more out of love. Let's do more out of awareness. The human being, again, is like your AMRA. It's lazy and it's unfulfilled unless your human doer participates in love and awareness. I think I'm crazy, but I just meditate on it. See, what I want to do, because what I love about Osho is he can say what I just said in 45 minutes. He can say in 5 minutes. And I'm wondering if we could play just a 5-minute clip of Osho talking about what I've just wasted your time talking about. If you listen to this, you'll have gotten more than what I'm saying. I'm feeling very blissful talking to you. I hope that I haven't insulted you too much, or I haven't woken you up too much. It's not my job to wake you up, but it is my job to indicate that your human being is losing weight. It needs to gain weight. It wants to be richer and fatter and more alive, just like you. So could you play that little 5-minute Osho? And then I'm back.
Why is the mind running like crazy when the heart wants to say something?
Mind is always afraid. Only of one thing, and that is your heart. Because mind is basically meant to be a servant. But he has managed to become the master. And the heart, which was going to be the master, has not even bothered to interfere. And has allowed the mind to remain the master. But the mind is aware that any moment the heart wants, his mastery is gone. So whenever the heart wants to say something, a fear arises in the mind. Mind is very much afraid of love. Mind is very much afraid of trust. Mind is very much afraid of anything that has to do with the heart. Because its mastery is not part of the nature heart is naturally the master. But this is the problem, because the heart feels its mastery so definitely, with such a certainty, that it never asserts itself. There is no need. It is an intrinsic knowing in the heart that mind can be pushed aside any moment, and mind knows it perfectly well, that he is just a servant, because the master is too gentlemanly. And has allowed even the servant to pretend to be the master. But a servant is a servant. So whenever your heart wants to say something, the mind starts feeling shaky. It wants the heart to remain completely dead. It wants man to become completely heartless. And it has succeeded all over the world to make people heartless. But once in a while, few people escape from the slavery of the mind and start asserting the rights of their heart. This is the greatest revolution there is. The revolution by the heart against the mind.
Oof, I love it. Now, wow, it's so beautiful. Anyway, here we are, back. And sometimes meditation makes you a little space, you know? So anyway, I just want to suggest to you that I want to give you a present today. I'm going to teach you to speak Italian for free. And so the next time we Zoom, you'll be fluent in Italian. Now, if you happen to be in Italy right now, I'm going to teach you how to speak Chinese. I'm a very generous man, very good teacher. And basically what I want to say is, we need to speak in gibberish. We need to learn to express ourselves as mad, alive human beings. We need to throw out the garbage of the mind. So, for example, does anybody know what this is? This is 5 dead Italians. This is how Italians speak, you know. So what I want to do is, Osho called it gibberish, huh? We do this at the end of every evening meeting. And because even when you listen to Osho, you need to let go of Osho. So you can imagine how much you need to let go of me. So you need to just take the information that I've shared with you, that you're not coming from your witness, you're coming from your human doing. Your heart is in pain because it's fighting between the mind and your being. And we're learning today to be whole human beings. We're learning how to meditate in the marketplace. We're learning how to be in the world without the world being in us. You know, it's a knack. Meditation is a knack. It's a, you know, it's a restart, you know. So what Osho would say is, every day in every way, we should practice gibberish for a couple of minutes a day. Blah, 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 you know. But I won't, one thing he said, and a lot of people didn't hear him, and maybe he didn't say it, but I think he did, that when we do the gibberish, at least when I did the gibberish for years before I caught on to the knack, I would space out because it was such a stupid thing to do. So when I did the gibberish, I would just leave my body, leave my mind, you know, dream about a girl, you know, drive a fast car. I wouldn't be present because it felt so foolish to be foolish. Now that I've gotten the knack, I realize it's the most sane thing in the world to let go, to just be a little stupid. So the next time you go to work and your boss pushes your buttons, you go into the men's room and you go blah, 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 blah. And you get to a point where you can hardly wait until your boss pushes your buttons. You can hardly wait for your wife to say, I'm leaving. You're such an asshole, because you have a chance to go blah, 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 blah. The point being that once you let go without fighting with somebody else, you learn the knack, you know, of meditation. You learn the knack of saying, wow, I didn't know I had that button. Thank you. You know, I'm just going to gibberish it away. Now, when we do this in Pune, we do it sitting down. And I think that's wonderful, you know. It's wonderful to sit on your ass, you know. I mean, Indian friends, they were born on the floor. I was born on a couch, you know. So what I feel when we speak gibberish for 2 minutes, you know, I like to stand up and act like I'm Italian. And I like to use my whole body to blah, 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 blah. So today you're getting rid of Krishna Prem. What an asshole. You just spent a whole hour with an asshole. I'm worried about you. Just get rid of Krishna Prem. By the way, get rid of Osho. Get rid of your wife. Get rid of your parents. Get rid of you. You're the one that needs to go. You're the one that needs to go. When I first met Osho, he said to me, I was the biggest crowd he had ever met in his life. He said, I've never met anybody that had parents and didn't ask them to leave. I've never met anybody that had a girlfriend, didn't ask her to leave. I never met a guy that had a high school football coach and didn't ask him to leave. Everybody you invited to live with you forgot to say goodbye. He said, when you do the Kundalini meditation, when you do the gibberish, you need to say goodbye to everyone. There's so many people living in you, Krishna Prem, so many ex-girlfriends, so many ex-college professors, so many ex-fathers and mothers. I had several, I've been adopted, everything. I had 2 sets of parents. He said, you need to let go of everybody. Why? So that you can create some space so that you can come back to who you are. And he recommended all the time when I saw him to speak gibberish before I saw him, so that when I saw him, I wouldn't invite him in without saying goodbye, Osho. It's fine to love Osho, but you need to let him go too. It's fine to love your parents, but you need to let them go. And his technique at the end of every night was to speak Italian, actually gibberish. So if you want, you could stand up. Now, what we're going to do now is you're just getting used to my American version of English, and you've just gotten used to Osho's Indian version of English. So now Osho's going to tell us a joke. Very funny joke. How do I know? I sent it to him. So I'm going to do this meditation with one eye open and one eye closed. Because one eye I'm meditating and the other eye I'm looking to see if you're laughing. And this joke, unbeknownst to myself, Osho took very seriously. As you know, he took his jokes very seriously. And he tries to speak this joke as if he speaks Italian. Unbelievable. So now we're going to listen to Osho. He's going to tell a very funny joke, which I hope you understand, because it's an Indian English with an Italian accent. So if you understand it, I think you'll find it very funny. And at the end of that, we're going to just go blah, 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 blah. If you want, you can stand up. Again, it's just for 2 minutes, so your neighbors won't even have a chance to call the police. 2 minutes later, the police come. They don't even know, because when you're now in silence, But again, gibberish is not about screaming. So don't scream, just express yourself. If you disturb your neighbors, send me an email. Who cares, So what we're going to do now, so just so you know, Osho's going to tell a joke. I hope you understand it. Then we're going to speak Italian for 2 minutes. Then your homework assignment is every day, in every way, you're going to speak Italian until our next Zoom call so that you're fluent. So that you say to me, Krishna Prem, every time I got my button pushed, I practiced my gibberish. I am now fluent in Italian. Now, once we speak gibberish, then Osho speaks to us again. And when he speaks to us again, he's going to be very nice. And why? Because you were willing to be stupid. You were willing to talk gibberish. You were willing to be a bit insane. Osho loved conscious people that knew how to go insane because he knew you could get back. At the end of every talk, he says, now come back, come back. We've been silly, come back, So I think you might love the joke. I know you're going to feel better after 2 minutes of gibberish. And then Osho's going to speak wonderful to us. And then we're going to come back together. I think it's really great. So are we ready with the Osho in Italian?
Luigi gets home to Italy from his holiday in California. He is very depressed, and his friend Alfonso asks him, "What's the matter? You like a California? Mamma mia." Replies Luigi, what a nightmare. I go to California and stay at the Pasta Hostel in Palm Springs. In the morning, I go to breakfast. I tell the waiter I want 2 pieces of toast. He brings me only 1 piece. I say I want 2 pieces. He say go to the bathroom. I say you no understand. I want a piece on the plate. He say you no piece on the plate. You son of a bitch. Later I have a lunch. The waitress brings me a knife and a spoon, but no fork. I tell her I want a fork. She tell me everyone want a fork. I say you no understand. I want a fork on the table. She say you no gonna fork on the table. You son of a bitch. So I go back to my hotel room and there are no seats on my bed. I call up the manager and tell him I wanna sit. He said, go to the bathroom. I say, you no understand. I wanna sit on my bed. You son of a bitch. So I am finished. I go to check out and the man at the desk say, happy holidays and peace on you. I say, peace on you too. You son of a bitch. I go home. Now is the time. The air is clean. You have laughed and you are ready. Nivedana. Be silent. Close your eyes. Feel your body to be completely frozen. No movement. Gather yourself in. Just like an arrow, move deeper and deeper within yourself. Soon you will reach the 100 feet pole from where begins the journey into space. Take a jump without looking back. It is our space. It is our origin. You are blessed. This evening is blessed. By your being, a Buddha, just a pure awareness. This awareness is your very nature. You can forget it, but you cannot lose it. It cannot be stolen. It is your very center. To make it clear, Nivedana, relax, but go on entering deeper and deeper into yourself. The body remains far away, miles away. The mind remains miles away. You are just a silent watchfulness. A peace that passeth understanding. A bliss that no word can express. An experience of eternity and immortality, which will bring you a great feeling of dance, rejoicing, songs. Even your silence will become a song, and your no movement will become a dance. Those who have known this source have become pure love, compassion, consciousness. Purity. This is your ultimate nature. Life is only a school to bring you to this ultimate nature. Those who remain unfortunately unaware of this grandeur of your being, this Everest of your consciousness, are really pitiable. Feel this moment and the silence of it, because you have to carry it with you 24 hours. On this path, there is no specific period for meditation. The whole life has to become meditation. Sitting, standing, walking, waking, sleeping. Meditation continues just like a thread in a garland of flowers. It does not show up, but it is there, the connecting link of each flower. All your actions, gestures are just like flowers, but a consciousness should run through all of them only then the garland is a garland. Otherwise, it is just a heap of flowers. Let your life be a garland with a consciousness connecting every action, every movement, every mood, and it will bring a total transformation. You will be a new man. Each meditation will take away something false from you and will bring some new, fresh quality slowly a day comes, your whole life becomes the life of a Buddha. It is not far away. It is always within your reach. Nivedana, come back, but bring with you the silence, the experience. Sit down for a few minutes like a Buddha. This is your nature. As Deva said, remember, he was referring to this experience of meditation. Remember in 24 hours, whatever you are doing, it does not matter. Your remembrance should remain a continuity.
You know, we're getting ready now. Oh gosh, it went on and on. Life goes on and on sometimes when you're having fun, huh? So that was a very quick hour and a half. Have a great time. I hope to be back with you in a month or two. Make sure you've learned to speak Italian. And we all have a reason to let go. And instead of shitting on the person in front of you, just go be by yourself and practice your Italian. It's time. It's time to take your life back, including your misery, and share it with yourself until it's joy. And when it becomes joy, then you go out and talk to friends. You know, Italian is a great reason. If you don't mind, I'm leaving you now to celebrate on your own. Thank you so much.
Okay,
Love.
thank you. Thank you, Krishna Prem, everybody. Thank you.
I hope everybody else did too. Love. Boom.
All of my love I give to you. All of my love I give to you. All of my love